Haya, I don't know if you can get me clearly. Sijui kama unaweza niona ama unaweza nipata mahali popote ulipo all over kwenye, kwa sababu niko live on two destinations. Niko live kwa Gor Mahia FC page ambapo naona wengi tayari walikuwa ngojea hii live broadcast. Wengine nao najua kwamba labda unaniona kwa my personal page, pia niko live pale. Nilikuwa na kuweka live kwa YouTube but sijaweza kuweka kwa YouTube. Kwa hivyo ikiwa unatazama kutoka kwa Gor Mahia FC page, ningependa labda weke comments hapo ili niweze kujua kama unanipata, if you are getting me clearly. I'm going to be hosting some of the candidates ama contestants ama wale ambao wanatafuta nafasi mbalimbali katika timu kubwa ama timu yetu ya Kogalo Gor Mahia. Kwa hivyo baadhi ya wale ambao watakuwa wanatafuta viti watakuwa hapa live ili kuweza kuzungumza nasi. Haya, naona baadhi ya mashabiki tayari wanaingia. Kuna Brana Omondi anasema yuko ndani. Karibu sana and thank you so much for watching this live broadcast, special broadcast dedicated to Kogalo ama Gor Mahia, huku tukifanya uchaguzi pale. Naona pia Alfi Abi anasema nakuona kabisa, tayari ameingia. Kuna huyu anaitwa nani? Honorable More Utelia Junior anasema Gidi niko ndani. Ni mashabiki wa Kogalo, mashabiki wa Gor Mahia tayari wako ndani. Huyu anajiita Facebook user anasema yuko tune in, anasema crystal clear. CB Alila, huyu ni shabiki kubwa wa Kogalo pia, very big fan, namjua vizuri sana, anasema tuko ndani. Yeye pia ameingia live kuweza kuona hii special broadcast. Alafu nani tena? Nataka mashabiki wa Kogalo muingie kwa wingi ili tuweze kuwa na debate, tuwe na mazungumzo na tuweze kujadiliana kuhusu our team Gor Mahia. Tutakuwa nazungumza na Kizungu, Kiswahili na sijui kama tutakuwa nakubaliwa kuongea hata lugha ya Luo kwa sababu hiyo ndio lugha ya Kogalo mara nyingi, lakini nategemea kama tutakuwa tunapatana kwenye show. Sasa hivi it's around 8:07, 7 minutes past 8, and we're going to be having this debate until around 8:45, 9 there, kwa sababu kuna mambo mengi ambayo yanafanyika. Kwa hivyo nitakuwa nakaribisha my co-host ambaye pia ni co-admin kwa hii page ya Gor Mahia FC, Tony Anelka. Yeye amekuwa akifuatilia vitu, anajua what has been going on in the club. Tamkaribisha. Then we are also going to have one of the I think secretary to the board, electoral board, aweze kutueleza ni nini inaendelea, what is going on. Kuna fununu hapa na pale kwamba labda huenda hakuna elections, na hata tuambie kama itakuwa namna gani. Wale ambao watakuwa nasimamia elections ni nini tunatarajia kuona na mambo kama hayo. Kwa hivyo nitakuwa na bwana Ken Mbara hapa kwa studio ili tuweze kuongea. Alafu pia nitakuwa na contestants, yani wale ambao wanasimamia au wanataka viti mbalimbali. Kuna nafasi ya chairman tayari ni unopposed Ambrose Rachier, atakuwa naye leo, lakini kuna show ambayo tumetayarisha ambayo atakuwa pale. Vice chairman, kuna nafasi ambayo inawaniwa na watu wawili. Sali Bolo atakuwa hapa studio ili kuzungumza. Wasuna Francis ameomba kwamba alikuwa na shughuli fulani, kwa hivyo sidhani kama atakuwa kwa show siku ya leo, hata ingawa tumemtumia link pale. Secretary General nafasi tayari imechukuliwa unopposed na Samo Chola, kwa hivyo hiyo tayari imechukuliwa pale. Nafasi ya treasurer pia inapiganiwa sana, kuna around 3 competitors there. Kuna Dolfina Odhiambo atakuwa kwa hii show, kuna Chrispine Okoth ambaye pia atakuwa na hii show. Na pia ningependa kupata sauti ya Judith Nyangi. Judith Nyangi, mahali popote ulipo, I would like to hear your voice on this election, kwa sababu kumekuwa na utata, umekuwa ukipinga hii mambo ya degree na mambo kama hayo. Hapa ni wazi, tunapatia kila mtu nafasi aweze kuzungumza. Kwa hivyo ningeomba mwenzangu bwana Tony Anelka akaribie kwa show. Na Tony Anelka, ningependa umtumie Nyangi link ya kuingia kwa hii show, because Judith Nyangi aingie kwa show ili aweze kuzungumza pia. Kwa hivyo naomba umtumie link tafadhali, ningependa kupata sauti yake pia. Alafu nafikiri kwamba hao ndio wagombeaji ambao tutakuwa nao kwa show. Na ikiwa wewe ni shabiki ungependa kuuliza swali lolote, wewe ni shabiki wa Gor Mahia and you have a question ama ungependa kuchangia, Baadaye kidogo nitakwenda kupatia nafasi uweze kuchangia, lakini waweza kuweka comment section, comment yako pale ili tuweze kuiweka kwa screen. Kama unaona Roslyn Lilian Otili tayari nimeweka comment yake hapo, anasema bas. Kwa hivyo yuko salama. Kuna huyu anaitwa Daniel Ogodo anasema ready. Haya, Tony Anelka, karibu sana kwa show. How are you doing, my brother?
Niko safi sana Gidi. Uko salama?
Mimi niko salama sana. Kogalo nasikia imewaka moto. Elections. What is going on, my brother Tony?
Bahati mbaya ulivyoanza ulikuwa umesema kwamba mimi ndio nafuatilia. Wewe unamaanisha ufuatilii maneno ya Kogalo sana? Ulihama club?
Mimi ni Kogalo damu. Mimi natoka Kanyamua, the home of Kogalo. Ni vile nimekuwa nyingi hapa na pale, lakini kwa sababu ya hii shughuli nimeamua wacha nirejee tuweze kuona vile mambo yanaendelea pale. Kwa hivyo kwa ufupi tu labda tuambie election itakuwa siku gani, wewe kama mwanahabari ni nini umekuwa ukifuatilia, what is going on? Alafu pia najua kwamba tutakuwa namkaribisha one of the board chair ama board members wa election aweze kuzungumza kidogo kabla tulete wagombeaji, si ndio?
Kabisa. Kwa kweli mengi yametendeka, tumekuwa na shughuli hapa na pale. Wagombea viti wamekuwa kiendelea na kampeni zao hapa na pale. Kwa hivyo ni wanne tu ulivyoelezea tu hapo wale ambao ni treasurer wawili, alafu hapo kwa vice chair pia tuko na wawili ambao ni incumbent wa Suna na Salibolo. Yeah, so basically it's been down to only 4 people. And as opposed to to the previous arrangement where we had 11 elected officials, constitution inasema kwamba tunachagua tu watu 4 pekee yake ambao ni chairman, SG, vice alafu treasurer. So kwa hiyo tuko tuna watu 4 pekee yake, sio mlolongo. Tumetoka kwa mlolongo tumeingia kwa ile secret ballot, alafu sasa tunaelekea ambao ni Saturday 8th tunaingia kwa electronic system of voting. Kumekuwa na changamoto, kumekuwa na sauti hapa na pale kutoka kwa wagombea ambao tutawasikia wanasema kwamba kuna maish pale na hiyo system ambayo itatumika hiyo Jumamosi. Tutawasikia na vizuri. Tuko na secretary wa board, electoral board ambao ni Bwana Mbara. Pia atatuelezea ni yapi yako nayo na pia tusikie wana maeneo gani alafu na mambo kama hayo. I think ni kwa hayo machache tunaweza endelea na mpango. Just to add on, nimepata ujumbe kutoka kwa Sali anasema kwamba hako njiani lakini ata join discussion midway. Hako njiani anaelekea nyumbani, hata tu join.
Hakikisha kwamba amejoin kwa sababu tungependa kumpata sana. Haya, wacha nimlete bwana Ken Mbara. Ken Mbara, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing very well, my brother.
Karibu sana kwa show Gor Mahia Decides. Ken Mbara, nimeelezwa kwamba wewe ndio secretary kwa board ya elections ya Gor Mahia. Labda tueleze tu kidogo nafasi yako iko vipi, what's your role in the board, what are the plans, is the elections on? Because there's a lot of confusion here and there. I've been reading blogs where people are complaining that perhaps maybe the election is not going to be free and fair. Wewe kama board secretary, mmetayarisha mambo gani?
Gidi, up to the time that we are speaking, elections for Gor Mahia Football Club are on and will be held on the 8th of August 2020, the year of our Lord. We have made all the arrangements. That the elections are free, fair. Let me start. When the board was appointed, we started making arrangements towards holding the elections. So we gave the notice of elections, which had already been given actually by the club itself for the 8th of August 2020. We proceeded and took the registered members of Gor Mahia who are supposed to vote, and the registration was done by the club itself. at that list, which had some double registration, and cleaned up the register. That register was submitted to the candidates and also to the Gor Mahia website for verification. Only one person complained about the list, a registered voter who had not been captured. That was reflected because that voter had been registered by somebody else, and that somebody had not given the details. We then proceeded to receive papers and other requirements from those who wanted to contest various positions. And this we did with Gor Mahia Constitution, the election rules that we implemented in line with the Constitution, the Sports Registrar Rules 2016, the Sports Act, and last but most important, the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya 2010. So from there, we received various applications. For the position of chairmanship, there was only one applicant, Ambrose Dixon Otieno Rachier. And for the position of Secretary General, there was only one applicant, that is Sam Ochola. The two therefore stand elected and opposed. So that what that means is that we are only going to conduct elections for two positions. That is the position of the vice chairman and the position of the honorary treasurer. Those two positions only attracted two applicants each. In the position of treasurer, we have Chrispine Okoth and Dolfina Odhiambo. Then for the position of vice chairman, we have Sally Bolo and Eric Wasuna. Nobody else submitted their papers and was actually barred or denied clearance to vie. I know that there has been the contested provision in Gor Mahia Constitution that you have to have a degree to vie for these positions.
Yes.
But the same Constitution also says that if you submit other qualifications that would make the requirement for the degree be waived. For example, you have enough experience dealing with what is required of that position, then that qualification can be waived. Nobody of all the people who submitted their papers did not have a degree. So we were in such a situation. If there was a candidate that did not have a degree and submitted other qualifications that would enable them to perform the duty of that office, the board would have looked at that and cleared them. So, luckily for us, nobody was denied clearance because of them. All of them met the requirements. They had the degree certificate. They met the requirements of Chapter 6 of the Constitution. And Gidi, in the course of things, some members of Gor Mahia had issues, wrote to the Registrar of Sports. They also wrote to the Elections Board through their lawyer. We looked at the issues that the registrar raised and addressed all of them. However, there are only two issues that the registrar raised, which we also did not find to be within the purview of the law, and we indicated as much. That people should be members of NHIF and NSSF. That is not in any known law of this country. And the board had very little to do with it because the registrar's rules, the Constitution, and the Constitution of Gor Mahia, and any other known law does not have any requirement for that. But none met all those requirements. The lawyer also wrote to us, and we requested them for more information, which has not been forthcoming. But we proceeded on our own and investigated some of the claims that they made and addressed them squarely. One of the most controversial things that emerged, apart from the degree one, which we have now addressed, was whether or not Wasuna and Rachier were eligible to vie. And the claim was that they had done several terms. When we looked at Gor Mahia Constitution and the registration, we realized that Gor was officially registered in 2018 as a sports organization.
2018?
Yes, that is when it was registered as a sports organization, because before then, it was just a society, and it was under the Societies Act. But in 2018, it was registered as a sports organization. The registrar's rules were also formulated in 2016. They allow individuals to vie for a maximum of 2 terms of 4 years each. So in law, the provision for 2 terms can only apply starting 2016 for whichever club, not only Gor Mahia. Gor Mahia specifically, it can only apply from the time the club was registered, which is in 2018, because before then, it was not known as a sports organization, and the rules regarding a sports organization would not apply.
But Mbara, because of time, and we have so many people who like to talk also, I'd like to go to this issue of degree, because it brought a lot of concern. I can even see on the comment section people already talking about it. If it was convenient for the clause around terms, as you're explaining it, to be, allowed in the new constitution, why did you guys put more emphasis on this degree issue? Because some people feel that perhaps maybe it was just a ploy to lock out some people. And I have one of the potential candidates. She's not a candidate. I understand that. She's a potential candidate. I would like her just to explain herself because she has been really complaining about this degree issue on the Gor Mahia page. Na muona ameshaingia hapa. I know you know Nyangi. Nyangi ako hapa. Ningependa ongele tu kidogo explain hii mambo ya degree, alafu ujibu wewe kama secretary wa electoral board, alafu tupatia wengine nafasi, wala ambao nagombea nafasi mbalimbali. Nyangi, habari gani? Nyangi, haujakaa kwa taa jamani. Lakini sasa Nyangi, umesikia vile Ken Mbara amejieleza pale. Hebu tuambie wewe, what's your feeling kuhusu election na vile mambo itakuwa?
Ile tunajua ni kwamba Kenya iko na sheria, and Ken Mbara knows very well that what he's doing is wrong. He knows very well that the registrar gave instructions to be followed. The constitution which is at the registrar is a constitution that was deposited there in 2018. Your constitution, the registrar, the constitution, we were supposed to be vying after every 2 years. Every 2 years, 1 term. So we were elected in 2016. So the registrar started that we do elections in 2018. She gave us 90 days to do elections, which was not done. So when they brought this issue of Katiba and elections, we wrote a letter to the registrar, whereby she said that first, we were supposed to do elections in 2018, according to our Constitution of Kenya 2010 and the Sports Act, which was not done. So when when they knew that already they had not done what we were asked to do, they went and filed returns that we had done elections at Jukwa in 2019. That is a letter in our file at the registrar. Ken Mbara knows very well that in 2019 there was no election that was done in Gor Mahia. So I think it will be good if he can explain on that issue. Did we do election in 2019? Because the letter at the registrar, the chairman wrote a letter to the registrar saying that we did elections at Jukwa. So the letter that is there is not even talking about constitution. It talks about elections. So he wanted to show the registrar that we had complied with whatever the registrar had instructed the club to do. That we had done elections in 2019, which was not so. So we've been in office illegally. Elections were to be done in 2018. That was after we had served the 2 years, 2016, 2018, 2017 and 2018.
Yeah, let me just ask you, Nyangi. Sasa wewe mpangako nini? Kwa sababu wewe ni kama una feel ni kama usheria haikufuatwa pale. Sasa mipango yako nini? Kwa sababu Ken Mbara kama
si ati na feel sheria haijafuatwa. Then Ken Mbara, and I said it and I am even ready to repeat it, that is a relative to Ambrose Rachier. He should not be even in that board. And he knows it very well. Then, what the registrar had instructed, that everybody should be in the ballot, according to Constitution of Kenya 2010. Because the Constitution of Kenya doesn't allow what they are trying to do. You know, there is a constitution in Kenya whereby whenever we have any constitution of an organization, first you must adhere to what the Constitution of Kenya 2010 says. You cannot go out of it.
The Constitution is supreme.
Supreme, and they know it. So,
okay. Wacha nipatie Ken Mbara labda ajibu kidogo kabla tuendelee. Ken Mbara, umesikia malalamishi ya Nyangi na vile anaeleza pale. Just to clarify, is it true that elections were not done in 2019 as required by the Constitution?
Gidi, kabisa, hii board ambayo mimi niko saizi, iliteuliwa 2017. In July, not 2017. Iliteuliwa in July. Nyangi amesema vizuri sana.
July which year?
This year.
2020.
Yes, na board si permanent. Amesema hawakufanya uchaguzi. Amesema walipeleka returns ambayo si halali. Juu walikuwa nataka kuonyesha wamecomply. Hilo swali linafaa lijibiwe na klabu wenyewe. So chenye Nyangi anatuambia ni kuwa yeye kama official organizing secretary wa Gor mpaka saa hizi na hao wengine walifanya hayo madhambi. Hiyo si kazi ya board. Pia board kazi yake si kutengeneza katiba, na board haikutengeneza katiba. Hii board saa hizi ndio mwezi yake ya pili. So kazi ya katiba ni klabu ilifanya. Vile klabu ilifanya katiba yao, hiyo si kazi yetu kama board. Sisi tuliambiwa na registrar tufuate katiba ya Kenya, tufuate katiba ya Gor Mahia, na wako na hiyo barua katiba ya Gor Mahia. Na tuhakikishe uchaguzi imefanywa kulingana na njia inayofaa. Tukaenda tukachukua katiba kwa registrar mwenyewe. Hiyo katiba ndio inasema mambo ya degree ama experience ingine ambayo inaweza tumika badala ya degree. So yale mambo Nyangi amesema kwa wakati huu si mambo ya board, ni mambo au kama officials wa klabu wenyewe. Kama hawakufanya basi ni hao walianguka kwa kazi yao. Na hiyo ni kitu inafaa registrar aulize hao wenyewe. Lakini tulipouliza kama elections zilifanywa hiyo 2018, tukaambiwa 2018 ndio Gor ilijiandikisha kama a sports organization. Kwa hivyo hata awangejiandikisha na wafanye uchaguzi immediately. Ile what they could have filed are interim officials because they were beginning fresh as a new sports organization. So yale mambo amesema 2017, 2018, hayo si mambo ya board.
Okay. Wewe kama secretary wa board unajiondolea lawama, wewe uko pale kusimamia uchaguzi, yeah? Is that what I'm getting from you?
Lakini Gidi na kitu amesema ningependa kujibu.
Kwa haraka tafadhali kwa sababu ya muda.
Nangi ambaye ni rafiki yangu lazima aseme. Wewe unanijua. Unajua nimeoa wapi? Nyangi alisema mimi nimeoa msichana wa Rachier mkubwa. Wewe una mimi nimeoa wapi? Watu waseme ukweli ndio wawe wanaweza kuaminika. Hata inashangaza sana because it is something that is out of the blues, and I don't want to respond to that because it's not an issue in this election, and also it is false.
Okay, now what's the plan for elections? Kwa haraka kwa sababu I want to introduce the candidates, some of the candidates who are here. What are the plans for elections? How is it going to be conducted on a Saturday? What time and all that? In less than 1 minute, Bwana Mbara.
554 voters will vote. It will be technically aided by ISPAC. On a platform that has already been created. The voting will start at 10 and end at 10:30. We will send voters access voting code, which is unique to each and every voter, and a link which they will use to log in. Cast their vote. Those who do not have a smartphone can go to the cyber, or they can log in using a friend's phone. The results will be out within the 5 minutes of voting because it will automatically be generating the tallies.
Okay.
So we have not been, I've been hearing that there is a rumors people have gone to court. We have not been served. So we are unaware. We will treat that as rumors. The moment we are served by an order that's stopping us, we are law-abiding citizens. We will abide by that order. But so far, nothing like that has happened. So we are proceeding as scheduled. In fact, shortly after this, we will be having a meeting with all the candidates virtually to explain to them what the process will be like, though we had already done that yesterday, but we are giving them also an opportunity to raise issues that they have with the platform and the arrangements as we have made, so that whatever is genuine and can affect the elections will be correct between now and the time we conduct the elections.
Okay, so you're giving Gor Mahia fans assurance that the election is going to be free and fair, yeah?
Yes, free and fair. The 50% of the election that is remaining for the two positions will be free and fair.
Okay. Sawa. Thank you so much, Ken Mbara. Asante sana. Kumbuka Ken Mbara is the secretary to the electoral board ambao anasimamia uchaguzi ya Gor Mahia, na vile ameeleza it's going to be on Saturday. Umesema saa 4 asubuhi na voting itakuwa electronically. Na I hope kwamba hakutakuwa na sava kupotea, masava kutopatikana. Kila kitu itakuwa wazi, bwana Ken Mbara.
Na wote wagombaji wote wale ambao wagombea viti watakuwa pale. Kuna tallying center ambao tutawaambia na watakuwa pale au wenyewe tutaona vile mpangilio inaendelea. Kuna observers ambao wameitwa from sports organization na hata media, wataangalia pale, na kama kuna issue ambayo hawaridhiki nayo, then wataisema pale pale na tuone vile inaweza tatuliwa.
Okay. Haya. Asante sana Bwana Mbara. If you are still available, you can remain backstage. I can bring you anytime. But let me introduce some of the candidates ambao pia wako hapa. Wacha nilete mwenzangu Tony Anelka kwanza. Tony Anelka, labda tu tueleze tu which positions zitakuwa zinaganiwa pale na the candidates ambao wako pale, alafu niwalete waweze kuzungumza.
Nadhani ni mara ya pili au mara ya tatu hivi ambao tunaurudia sasa. Tulikuwa tumesema ambao positions mbili tu, that's treasury, vice chair, chairman already gone unopposed, SG pia alikuwa shaenda unopposed, so we only have 2 positions. As earlier said by Mbara, there are only 4 candidates, that Dolfina Odhiambo going for treasurer post, and Chrispine Okoth facing Dolfina. And then on the other hand, we have the 2 incumbents, that's Sally Bolo and Francis Wasuna, going for vice chair position. So basically that's what we have as of now. I wanted to start with the vice chair position, and you're telling me Sally Bolo is not available at the moment. She was you said she was driving home, yeah? Yeah, actually she was on her way home. Akasema tatujoin too shortly akifika, so we should be expecting her any time from now. Tungoje, okay. Na Wasuna Francis ambaye pia na vie for vice chairman, umesema yeye yuko ama mambo vipi? Yeah, alikuwepo lakini alikuwa na changamoto hapa na pale, akasema ataweza kutujoin ama pengine anaweza kukosa kutujoin. So tuendelee tu, tunatarajia maybe anaweza kutujoin in the next 10 or so minutes. So let's just hope he'll be there. Haya, nafasi ya treasurer kuna Dolfina Odhiambo na kuna Chrispine Okoth. Dolfina alikuwa kwa studio lakini simuoni, amepotea tena. Kama unatutazama tafadhali Dolfina ingia kwa show ili uweze kuzungumza, lakini naona tuko na Chrispine Okoth yuko hapa. Chrispine Okoth, karibu sana. How are you doing, my brother?
Thank you very much, Gidi. Fine.
Kogalo oye.
Kogalo oye. Yes.
Karibu sana. And nimeona Dolfina pia ameingia. Dolfina, kumbuka nani amewasha TV? Mwenye amewasha TV azime. Labda ni hapo kwako Gidi. Hebu angalia kama TV yako iko. Mimi niko kwa studio, hakuna TV ndani ya studio. Very quiet. Aya, Dolfina, ningeomba uwashe microphone yako kwa sababu it's like you've switched off your microphone. Dolfina, check on your screen. Check on your screen, umezima microphone yako. Ningeomba uwashe alafu tupate. So, Chrispine, yes. Which position are you going for, and why do you want that position in Gor Mahia?
I'm going for the position of treasurer. And before I proceed, there's a question which I posted to the secretary to the board. He mentioned about the system, and I've asked which system are they using, because he has mentioned about ISPAC, which I think it is not correct, because I have information to that effect. We as the contestants, we are remaining with 2 days. We've not been given an opportunity to interrogate the system. So we can't be assured of the integrity of the system. The second thing, they've stated that they are not going to allow a candidate with an agent. This is an online voting system, which is basically a system, an information system-based technology that requires an IT specialist to interrogate or ask questions regarding the same. It has not been done. The sentiment of ISPAC, which was a recommendation by the sports registrar, Actually, I'm a member of ISPAC. ISPAC is an integral body in this country that is trusted with this kind of activities. I've seen somewhere some propaganda around that I want to hack the system. That was not my interest. I had to confirm with ISPAC if actually they've been contracted to run this particular election. ISPAC has a process. What they would do if they are contracted, they would have a public notice to everybody. They'll send a notification to all the contestants and the members who are participating in that particular election, notifying them of their involvement in that particular election and ask for any queries. Yes, so that one there will go to Mbara for him to answer that. However, I'll come back to my. I'll come back now to the question that you've asked me.
Yeah, because of time.
Yes. Why do I want to become a treasurer of Gor Mahia? First of all, with my history with Gor Mahia, I've been in Gor Mahia for over 20 years. I've participated in a number of activities in Gor Mahia, and the challenges that Gor Mahia face actually come to the members. These are challenges that we experience as members of the branches, as members of Gor Mahia, and it's in the public domain. Now, based on my background and training, there are a number of issues that are emanating from all those issues that surround our club. There are issues relating to financial issues, which are financial management issues, cash flow management issues, sustainability issues, and the general running of the club in terms of aspects that end up to not meeting the expectations. And all this boil down to financial burden to the organization. So it means that there are a number of issues that need to be addressed in Gor Mahia that would resolve the issues of finances that are affecting the club. Based on the expectation on this particular position, the financial issues must be addressed strategically using methodologies that would help the club actually meet its objective. Secondly, a club is a business entity. It is not just playing football. It is a business entity that must meet its objectives in terms of wealth creation, value creation. And all this can only be done if it is managed prudently in terms of the expectation of any business. Now, with my experience and training, I feel that I have what it takes to deal with these issues because I've dealt with similar issues in the organizations that I've engaged in. The challenge that Gor Mahia has had, we've elected people through euphoria. And in most cases, it has come through system candidates. So people are brought to positions who do not align to those specific qualifications required for those responsibilities for those particular positions. And that's why people go with misaligned priorities.
Okay, Chrispine, one more minute, because we also want to give Dolfina a chance to also talk. Finalize.
Yes, so based on that, it requires financial prudency. It requires financial planning. It requires serious investment analysis for any of the resources that Gor Mahia would have in terms of gearing the club towards growth. And all this would require someone who has the capacity, the ability to carry out those exercises.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chrispine Okoth, one of the candidates for the treasurer position. We also have Dolfina. Okay, Chrispine, don't go away.
No, I'm not going away. I'm just
okay.
wacha
nikuondoe kidogo. Dolfina, ningeomba you click on the screen so that your microphone can. Okay.
Yeah, it's now on.
It's now on. Dolfina, welcome. Karibu sana. You are going for the position of treasurer. And
yes.
Yeah, and I know you've been doing your campaign. Do you feel that you are ready? Do you feel that you've got enough support? And what are you going to do for the club if you're elected as a treasurer of Gor Mahia?
Please come again, did you say?
What are your plans as the treasurer? If you're elected to the position of the treasurer, what's your plans for the club?
My plans is to ensure that we have a sustained level of transparency and accountability in matters money. So I know that in the past we've not necessarily had various policies and procedures of engaging in a financial aspect as a club, and the Constitution has given us an opportunity to explore this, as a club, and that is why I am very excited with my oversight position in the club in matters finances, because I have with me the secretariat in the position of finance officer, who is tasked with the day-to-day bookkeeping for the club, and my own would be to ensure that we uphold the right standards, the required standards, as far as maintaining those accounts are concerned, and especially reporting. So, as much as many may say, oh, I don't have a background in finance, I don't have accounting knowledge, I know how to read statements. I know how to I know how to check the various items on a statement and know whether we are doing well as a club or not. And I know that it's not just about checking the statements and all that. It's also about investing. How are we investing as a club? What are we doing to generate income? So there's a lot to be done, but it has to be done according to the Constitution that we passed last year. So it's not like I'm reinventing the wheel here. We have to maintain what is prescribed in the Constitution, and that is my main strength as far as this position is concerned. I was amongst the people that actually spearheaded the writing of this Constitution, and I know it like the back of my hand. So when I'm vying for this position, I'm not just vying for the sake of vying. I'm vying because I want to ensure that we implement it to the letter. Yeah, so my role is cut out as a treasurer, as an oversight role. So there's no time that we're going to clash with the finance officer. And to take it further, we are expected to have an auditor, an external auditor. So I don't expect that Dolfina is going to be the treasurer, is going to be the finance officer, and is going to be the auditor at the same time. This is the problem we've had in the past. So if we cannot separate these roles, then we're going to have a problem. I must stay in my lane, make sure that I come up with policies, I make sure that the policies are right by the organization so that we can achieve the desired goal. So as much as I am an oversight person, I'm going to push to make sure that these policies are well documented, even for posterity. Even after Dolfina leaves Gor Mahia, there will be documents, there will be procedures of how we engage as a club in matters finance, how we invest, how we bring in players, how we sell them out. So there's a lot to be done, but my role is oversight. and to ensure that things are done properly. And then to report to the public, to report to the Gor Mahia fraternity how we are spending, what income has come, what deficit we have, what surplus we have, and what we are planning to do, and to get the proper ratification from the AGM, especially if we are going to engage in a massive project, like, for example, building a stadium or doing the grounds for the players to have somewhere to do their training. So there's a lot involved here, and I know that I am not going to work there alone. I must
You're going
have
to have
a working.
Yeah, I've heard you. I've heard. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dolfina. I'm seeing quite a number of questions coming from some of the fans who are putting their comments there, and actually let me put that question because it's touching on a very important thing. There's a fan on the comment section asking, Chrispine, how do you intend to solve the tax issue with KRA or the club for over 100 million back? And I'll like Dolfina to also answer that because hapo ni swali ambayo imeulizwa pale na mafans. So Chrispine, matters tax and KRA.
Okay, as I answer that question, I want to clarify a few things regarding the development. Now, Gor Mahia requires quite a number of detailed policies that would govern its operation and financial management. The first policy that would need to put in place is regard to cash management, which would look at the movement of cash, selection and managing the efficient processes for cash management. There's an aspect of risk management in the club that is required. And this aspect of taxation is what comes on board as part of the risk management. Now, when we talk about taxation, there are quite a number of provisions that one needs to understand and have it in their policies in order to mitigate against the liabilities that arise in relation to taxation. Like, for example, I want to give an aspect of the provision in KRA rules and regulation. One, there's a provision that if you are giving your employees or staff, you are allowed to give up to the tune of 2,000 shillings per day, non-taxable. All these are aspects that need to be put into policies in terms of tax management within the institution. That's just one aspect. This will help in terms of lowering the tax burden to the players, while at the same time addressing the issues the historical issues that led to taxation. I have an experience with tax management, and actually the first thing that I would move into that particular to the club and assist is in terms of looking at how to reduce that tax liability to a level that it is expected. I've just given one of the examples. There are a number of issues that KRA could have raised regarding the tax liability that has been levied against Gor Mahia. So that would be my tax in terms of fishing out that are not supposed to have been incorporated in that particular tax burden.
Okay. Dolfina, can you hear me? You switch on your microphone. Your microphone is off. Switch back your microphone. Dolfina. Oh, okay. You can hear me now.
It's on.
Dolfina, one of the major issues.
It's on.
I can hear you now. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the
where would I start with the tax issue? I think the first thing I would do is to get in touch with KRA. I'll get in touch with KRA, and depending on what is at stake, I would ask for guidance, because I cannot just talk about something that I do not know. I don't know what kind of liability we have in terms of taxes. I don't know how long, what taxes have ever been paid. So I've never seen those books. So I cannot talk about them. But what I know is that if you sit down with KRA and you seek for their opinion and advice, they will listen and they will give you a way out. I have in an organization where there was a backlog of tax that had not been paid. But we discovered that the nature of that organization did not require expressly that we should be paying taxes. So KRA, being lenient on our side, decided that if we show goodwill, that we are going to pay the backlog, they would give us a waiver going forward. And for sure, they granted us a tax exemption certificate for the following year, as in the beginning of January of the following year, or of the year that we had gone to seek their advice. So I cannot talk much now about what I'm going to do. But what I know is that first I need to assess the situation, and I can only get the true picture when I call the KRA people and bring them on board and check what is the current status and what can be done. And I know that they are very they can be very lenient, especially when you are the one who has gone to them and brought yourself. It's like you've gone and reported yourself. They can have a negotiated way of payment with you, or they can even give you a waiver up to some level. So I don't want to preempt anything until I see what is in store for us as a club, because I don't know about the club's accounts. I don't know anything. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dolfina. And Tony Anelka, as my co-host, ati ingawa ulikuwa umepotea kidogo lakini naona umerejea. Mimi na wewe tumekuwa kwa hii club for quite a number of years, na tumeona mambo mengi ambayo imekuwa ikifanyika pale. One of the major issues, and this is a personal observation, kuhusu mambo ya finance na treasurer ama treasury position, imekuwa ni revenue collection and revenue generation. Na nikisema revenue collection ni kuhusu mambo ya gate collection sana sana, hiyo ndio actually huwa inazungumziwa pale. Na revenue generation ni how a club like Gor Mahia can generate other, sources of income ili iweze kuleta revenue ambayo inaweza saidia kuendelesha club. Kumekuwa na sponsorship, kumekuwa na selling players, pamoja pia na of course gate collection na selling merchandise and all that. Sisi kama club 50 years later, kwa nini hatujakuwa na hizi mikakati za kuwa na a proper structure ya revenue collection na revenue generation ya kupeleka hii club mbele, tuwe kama kina Simba, our peers in the region na internationally na mambo kama hayo? Tony Anelka, labda uzungumze kidogo alafu ulize swali kwa the two candidates, because these are the only candidates. Atengana naona Nyangi pia yuko hapa, nitakuwa nampatia nafasi because yeye pia alikuwa anataka kuwa treasurer. Atengawa siji kama yuko kwa ballot, but I would like to hear her voice on this forum. Tony Anelka.
Asante Gidi. Kwa kusema kweli, kama club Gor Mahia, kwa region tunasema kwamba ni club kubwa. Kubwa kivipi? Hiyo ndio swali. Kubwa kwa mpira, kubwa kwa mfuko, kubwa kwa uwanja, ama wapi? Candidates wako hapo, wameongelea mengi. Mambo na policy, mambo na KRA, mambo na nini. Sasa turudi kwa ground, ambao swali yangu sasa inakuja kwa mambo ya sustainability. Revenue generation. Niko na swali kwa Dolfina ambao ni ya kwanza. Tukirudi kwa ground, tukiacha mambo ya policy, mambo ya karatasi, utaenda kwa ofisi ya Kairena kufanya 1 2 3. Turudi pale kwa ground. Kuna mambo na ticketing. I mean, how do you intend to work on that so that we can have, a well-working and, a more efficient, method of doing the club ticketing so that we can maximize on ticket sales? Dolfina.
Tuanze Dolfina.
Microphone yake amefunga,
Anawasha.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. You're talking about ticketing. I think I don't know whether I shared with you my manifesto. And I think I said that I would want us to have an in-house e-ticketing system. Why do I say this? It's because we have attempted to outsource before, and it was a disaster. And my 2 cents tells me that if we have an in-house system, we can be able to monitor everything on our own. We can be able to do the auditing on our own, as opposed to relying on someone to just tell us anything that they feel like, you know. So if we have this, and we have our trained stewards who we can use at the gates, already given scanners to use as tools at the entrance. And when I say scanners, I don't mean 1 or 2 scanners. Somebody was reading my profile and they were saying, yeah, you cannot have 2 scanners and expect that, you know, I mean, that's foolish. You cannot do that. You may have 3 entry points or 2 entry points, but with many scanners. So people can have like 4 rows, you know. They get scanned. After they've been scanned, the tickets have the barcodes have been read with the scanners. They move to the next person or staff who is going to give them a wristband, and they get in. If they are VIP, they go to VIP. If they are what do they call it again? The terrace, they go to the terrace. So I think if we can have those scanners and ensure that nobody is buying tickets at the gate.
Okay, Dolfina, link yake imehang kidogo.
I mean that the people in the media liaison office, the secretariat, the media liaison office, they will have done their groundwork before time. This thing of we are having a match tomorrow and we are knowing about it today, I don't think can work for Gor Mahia. It doesn't work. It has been a disaster. And I think the matches should be hyped like a week or 2 before the date of the actual match. And this is possible because normally the fixtures are given way ahead of time. In fact, at the beginning of the season, we know that we have this match on this date, we have another one on this date, we have like that. So there is...
Okay, because of time, I would like us to limit our response time. Maybe Chrispine, sorry.
Thank you very much. You've asked 2 questions in terms of resource sustainability and in terms of the aspect of controlling or managing the match ticketing or the match collection. The first one is
in general revenue collection and revenue generation for the club, so that we can be at par as our peers and we can grow the club financially.
The first one, we're having a challenge with our fan base because of lack of trust that they have with the office. And this lack of trust can be eradicated through sensitization of our membership through their branches and public awareness to all the Gor Mahia members. How do we do this? The first one is to involve our members through the branches in the club activities, including managing of the entries during our matches. Now, when we do this and create an appreciation package to our members, they will feel that they offer their services to the club, and in return, there's also something that they can be proud of as an appreciation from the club. What appreciation am I thinking of? Is to have a small proportion or a small percentage of the gate collection. This will be a motivation to the stakeholders that are involved in this activity. One will be the stewards, the security, because they play a crucial role to our team during our matches, and organize the branches in such a way that in every match, there are 2 or 3 branches that are involved in managing the entry of people into the stadium. How does it help? When you are a branch member, you know each other. So what will happen is you will stop your colleagues that attempts to cross or to jump over the gates or the walls in order to enter the stadium without payment. This will help us in terms of collecting revenue through our matches. The first thing that will be done is to make sure that these matches are advertised through our branches, and the branches will do that as part and parcel of the activities of the club. They will sensitize their members about the matches, and they'll ask their members to come because there is a motivation that they'll get through the gate collection. The second thing in terms of revenue collection, it is in regard to cutting on the expenses of the club. What are we trying to look at in terms of the short measure or the short-term measures? The first one is negotiate with the hotels, because right now we don't have club houses for our team. Negotiate with the hotels in order to cut on the bills for hotel bills. Talk with the transport companies. Agree with them to use Gor Mahia logo in terms of advertising, and give us discounts for transport for our players to the various destinations. Because through that, what will happen is these transport businesses will get Gor Mahia fans using their buses. This will be one way of cutting on the cost and bring efficiency in terms of our activities. The long-term plan that will be there would be to have the club have their own club houses or guest houses in major cities where we play our football. Now, in this particular case, we will be investing in our own asset rather than investing in other people's property by paying hotel bills instead of having our own guest houses. How do we achieve this? This can be done after building the trust with our membership, and also with the sponsorship there. We would negotiate with them to start within our strategic plan to say that the first one we are going to build in Nairobi, maybe after 2 years, we'll build another one in Kisumu. After 7 years, we'll be having those guest houses across the major towns. The third one is on the issue of transport. And I always say that we lost an opportunity when we had SportPesa. Right now, there's a betting company that's coming on board. We are having a contract with them for 3 years. In that budget, we have a budget for local transport. We have a budget for international transport. Now, for local transport, if for 3 years we are having approximately 6 to 7 million, what stops us from negotiating with this particular sponsor to advance us the 6 million and loan us 4 million so that we get the bus? Would have invested in our bus for local transport. Instead of hiring vehicles, we would have our bus such that even if this sponsor goes, we remain with our bus. How do we pay 4 million or the 5 million? We have high octave matches, which are mainly the Mashemeji Derby. Within 3 years, we'll be having 3 matches. We can ask this sponsor, we saw what SportPesa did in terms of hyping the major matches. Ask them to manage those matches, and the collection in those particular matches, they take it to recover the money that they don't have. At the end of the day, even if this sponsor goes, we will have what? We'll have our bus. Lastly, we are talking about the issue of stadiums. SportPesa reached a level that they could give a winning person 230, 300 million. If we negotiate with a sponsor as at now, stadium will not be built in a day. It will take approximately 3 years. And we negotiate with them, want to partner with you to build this particular stadium over 3 years and hand over the stadium to you to manage for 5 years or for 7 years.
We've had you, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Don't go away. Tony Anelka, you wanted to say something, because I want to give Nyangi also a chance, because she really wanted to be treasurer of Gor Mahia, and maybe she has some ideas which she can share with us. Tony Anelka, you wanted to say something first.
Yeah, before we move to Nyangi, actually, mrudishe kwanza Chrispine. Mrudishe Chrispine, niko na swali kwake.
Okay, lakini time atajibu baadaye. Kwa sababu ya time, kwa sababu unajua we already at 9:10, we are 10 minutes past. Let me just give Nyangi a chance and then I bring Chrispine and Dolfina to finalize. Tukimalizia. Nyangi, karibu sana. Nyangi, karibu sana. Ulikuwa unataka kuwa treasurer. Na sije kama uko kwa ballot, lakini hata kama uko kwa ballot, kuna ideas ambazo labda unaweza tuambia ulikuwa nazo, ambazo ulikuwa unataka kuleta kwa club, umekuwa official, na mambo ambayo umeona pale, mambo ambayo inaweza rekebishwa, mambo ambayo labda ikiwa labda utapewa nafasi labda ungeweza kurekebisha pale, ama ikiwa labda utapata nafasi kati ya wawili Chrispine na Dolfina ambao wanataka kuingia kwa ofisi, mmoja wao akibahatika kuingia, basi unaweza kuwashauri kwamba hivyo ndio watekeleze ili kuendelesha club. Nyange, ongea.
Ile kitu naweza kuambia Gidi ni kwamba unasema nilikuwa nataka kuwa treasurer. Mimi bado ndio nitakuwa treasurer wa Gor Mahia. Kwa sababu ile kitu naweza kuambia uchaguzi ile itafanyika Jumamosi. Hiyo nakuambia for free. Na kuna orders zile tunangoja. Freeze orders tunangoja wamalize hiyo kampeni yao by kesho. Tutawatandika nazo kesho by jioni. So orders zitakuwa.
Unasimamisha uchaguzi by kesho.
Uchaguzi tumesimamisha, tumeenda SDT na tumesimamisha uchaguzi. Kwa sababu kuna zile mambo tumesema wana registrar zile mpaka wa leo zimekataa kufuatwa. Na mpaka sasa hizi tunasikia hata wale watu wanataka kuenda kwa hiyo uchaguzi hawaelewi ni mbinu gani inatumiwa kwa hiyo uchaguzi. Hawaelewi system ni gani. Ilikuwa inasemekana ISPAC hakuna mahali. Ni mambo ya ukora. But ile kitu naweza kuambia Gidi. Mimi nilikuwa nataka kuwa treasurer wa Gor Mahia kwa sababu nimekuwa pale kwenye ile ofisi na nimejua ile utapeli yote ile inaendelea pale. Gor Mahia is a community club. Na first lazima make sure umeharness ile goodwill ya fans. Unasikia? Fans wanataka ule mtu anaamini. Fans hawataki degree. Hizo degree ni upuzi za watu wengine kwa race. Kwanza lazima iwe na mtu very transparent. Ule pesa ikiingia anawaambia ni pesa fulani ya, na hiyo pesa inaangaliwa vizuri. Usiwe na mambo ya sijui mara players wajalipwa mara nini. Unapata pesa ikiingia hata kama ya sponsor. Kama wakati ile tulikuwa na sport pesa. Pesa inaingia kwa account leo, kesho yote imetolewa. Mtu amepotea nayo. Anda kufanya na biashara zake at the expense of players. So such things ndio zilikuwa zinaniannoy. Na nikasema ukiwa na game na imiza fans wa kuje game, tuna make sure gate watu wamelipa. Sasa hizo una expect the following day ama 2 days after players watafurahi labda ile allowances yao itapunguzwa. Hiyo pesa unafanya kazi yote ya kuangalia hiyo pesa ingie kwa club. Tena mtu anadisappear nayo. So Igor inataka mtu yule ako transparent, mtu yule atasimamia haki na ukweli. Na hawa watu hao wanasimama hapo watu wanataka hiyo kiti. Hata wachaguliwe leo bila Gor kukuwa na systems, they are doing zero. Unasikia? Lazima kukuwe na structures kwa Gor. But hii mambo ya tisijua unachaguliwa juu kwa system. Hiyo system ndio ya majambazi. Hiyo system iko hapo ya majambazi. Wanataka kujifanya kama Gor ni ya Gor ni ya
kuna swali.
Okay. Kuna swali hapo.
Nyangi, umesema degree haitakikani hapo, sio?
Nasema leadership sio papers, unasikia? Hawa watu wako na hizo papers ndio wameibei club kabisa. Hawa watu wako na hizo papers. Na hizi manifesto unasikia zikimbo hapa. In 2016 tukienda kuelektiwa, manifesto ziliwezo refu. Mimi sikuwa na manifesto. Mimi nilikuwa naambia tu fans mimi nifanyie ile wafanyie hii. The same thing na saa hii. Fans wanajua what I'm capable of doing. Hizi manifesto na kizungu mingi wanaleta hapa ya mwisho wanaenda kutuibia nazo. Unasikia? Mtu anasema mpaka unasikia mtu anasema mpaka game nini kalenda ya game inatokaga mwanzo ya season. Ni kama ajui hizi vitu huwa zinaenda zikichange. Kuna ile time hata mnapiga game Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday. schedule na change. Yani wanajaribu hata ziko. Yani hakuna, yani wana behave ni kama wajaiko kwa ball.
Aya, tuachie hapo. Degree haiko ni swali. Swali ilikuwa ni hili Nyangi. Umeongelea ambao vitu kama structures. Umekuwa kwa ofisi kwa kitu kama 4 years now, eh? Hakuja kuwa na structure system. Shida imekuwa nini hasa? Nini hasa kwa ofisi?
Shida iko hapo kwa Gor. Nganyane. Shida iko hapo kwa kichwa. Hapo kwa Mugabe hapo. Hapo ndio shida iko. Kwa sababu wewe ni chairman, wewe ni treasurer, wewe ndio secretary, wewe ndio documents zingine kwa registrar, wewe ndio umesign on behalf of bank. Treasurer akienda hata kwa bank kuitisha bank statement, anapigiwa simu aruulizwe kama treasurer tumpatie bank statement. Unasikia? Bank yeye mtu mmoja anaweza enda withdraw pesa bila signatories wengine. So ni kama hakuna structures. Mtu mmoja ndiye basi akalia hiyo kiti mpaka akikufa. Hiyo tuanzie hapo because ile vile hiyo club inaraniwa is not professional at all. Then ukiwa wewe ni mtu ule unataka ukweli, you remember the other times hata ilikuwa stories za player anauzwa. Ukitaka kujua player ameuzwa pesa imeingia kwa club ni ngapi, hiyo mambo unasikia player ameuzwa pesa haijakuja. Baadaye saa hizi ndio wanaanza kukubali Walusimbi aliuzwa pesa fulani iliingia development bank.
Lakini Nyangi hizi ni
so,
Nyangi
these are the things that are fans to stay away from the stadiums because wanaona hata wakienda stadium wajae walipe pesa, hiyo pesa waoni ile kitu inafanya. Then saa hizi Gor ni
la mwisho
haya Nyangi tuone Anelka tumalizie alafu tupatie candidates wale wamebaki wamalizia tukimalizia.
La mwisho Nyangi, umekuwa ofisi na ulikuwa organizing secretary. Nataka tuongelee hiyo docket yako. Membership I believe ina fall under your docket, right?
Yeah.
Ni nani alikushika mkono ambao haukuweza kufanya kazi yako mpaka kwa sasa? Tuna only 548 members, registered members. Na sio kwamba wameregister as members, they are voters. Ni nini ilifanyika haswa? Yani tueleze tu nini ilifanyika. Haukuweza kumobilize watu ili tukuwe na like thousands of members.
Unaona, membership ni kitu ya club. Unasikia? So, mimi when tulienda Tumaini tukapitisha katiba kwamba inafaa watu wawe members. Nilianza membership drive. Nilienda Mombasa, Kericho, Kisii, Kisumu, Nakuru kuongea na fans wa register kama members. But fans walikuwa wanauliza this membership drive ni wewe tu unaisukuma. Where are the other officials not talking about it? Unasikia? Hii kitu kama membership drive ilikuwa inatakikana ina launchiwa na officials wote mpaka chairman tunaongea in one voice then wananituma kwa ground. But hiyo time nilikuwa nangangana ni kama hii club ni mzigo yangu. Then ile kitu pia ilijamisha, mnafanya membership, pesa zinaingia, mnasikia hizo pesa zimetoka. Hakuna zale members wataambiwa hii membership as at today pesa ile imeingia ni pesa fulani na imefanya kitu fulani. Unasikia? Mambo ya giza. Hiyo mambo ya giza ndio discourage fans wengi hata kuregister. So ile tunaweza kuambia if things will be done the right way, fans are ready to register as members. Kama wanajua hii pesa wanatoa inaenda kusaidia club na inaenda kusaidia kivipi na imefika ngapi, hizo ndio vitu zile zinatakana kwa club. Very simple things. Zile need degree. Vitu tu za kutumia. Unasikia? But our members wao unawatakaga tu sasa unataka kutumia. Lakini sasa zile wanauliza maswali unaambiwa pack Gor doge odi. Hiyo mentality na mtu kusema ati Gor ni yao system. This is a community club and it's a high time things have to change.
Okay. Asante sana Nyangi. Asante sana kwa maoni yako kwa show. Na naona time imeenda sana. Ilikuwa tumalize by 9. It's already 9:19 and it was important to give everyone a chance aweze kutoa voice yake ama sauti yake pale. The only candidates we have today ni wale wa the treasurer position. Tuko na Chrispine Okoth na Dolfina Odhiambo wamejieleza. Wale ambao hawajatazama vile wameongea, maybe umetune in late, this video will still be there on Gor Mahia FC page. Kwa hivyo weza kurudi usikie yale yote ambayo wamesema pale. Kwa hivyo bwana Tony Anelka, wewe kama admin wa page, ningependa tumalizie mazungumzo, labda tuwapatie Chrispine na pamoja na Dolfina one more chance, dakika kama 1-2 hivi kutupatia their final submission, alafu labda kesho ama before Friday tuweze kupata vice chairman position. Yeah. Kuna Sani Bolo, they were supposed to be here, na Wasuna Francis pia nafasi here. Alafu probably on Saturday after election we should have the chairman here aweze kujibu maswali, kwa sababu can see a lot of questions. Secretary General na Secretary General wa Gor Mahia watuambie after elections ama after all this is done, what is the way forward, because sisi kama mashabiki kama mafans, we must put them to accountability. Haya, Tony Anelka, swali la mwisho kwa ujumla tu akisummarize, ama nini ungependa kusema?
Nilikuwa na swali kwa Chrispine before aondoke saa zile.
Na ukupishe
kabisa. Kabisa nitafupisha. Chrispine, yes. Maybe unaweza chukua sekunde kama 30 seconds hivi just to give us an answer. You're loaded with ideas, yeah? And umeongea vizuri vile tutainvest hapa na pale, jinsi tunafaa kufanya club iendelee mbele. Nikurudishe nyuma kidogo. Napata habari kwamba, ama niko na habari kwamba umekuwa kwa ile committee ya youth team kama one of the officials.
Yes.
Ilikuwaje wewe kama Chrispine ambao unataka kuwa treasurer saizi wa club ya Gor Mahia, umekuwa pale kwa youth team, hizi ideas ambao uko nazo au kuweza kuimplement pale kwa youth team, and you're doing badly to an extent that youth team when inapeana walkover and you are there with all that idea? Just take us through.
I want to tell you, we took over the youth team in November 2019. Corona came on board March 2020. When we took over the youth team, we didn't have a single cent. Youth team played more than 20 matches. With the strategy that we put in place, we managed to run the youth team for that particular period, except for one match that had that was given our cover, and this came as a result of bringing in that match. We had 3 matches in a week, yet the collections that we were having was to sustain 1 week. That was our short-term measure to enable the youth team play. We came up with strategies that were there. We had a youth team support club that we wanted to get 200 people. We managed to get 60, but with 30 active people to generate funds to enable youth team carry out with their activities. The second aspect that we brought on board is Adopt a Game, which we are a concept that we had come with, but it was cut by the coronavirus, the corona pandemic. The third one, we had initiated a process of Gor Mahia Youth Academy, which is a long-term plan. We had even discussed with a number of schools where we are going to put that particular structure. Right now, kids are not going to those particular venues for those particular activities. These are plans that we had on board. Lastly, I want to mention to you that just before the main club got the current sponsor, that is BetSafe. BetSafe, yeah. We were going to sign a contract with another betting firm as a youth team. Unfortunately, in the same week, the main club came up with that particular sponsor. Due to conflicts that arise between competitors, we couldn't sign that. As we speak right now, we have a proposal with Mombasa Cement, which is being negotiated. So where the notion that youth team is doing very badly, we got youth team at a bad state when we handed it over to the office. And right now, the plans that are there, if we moved and successfully managed that, we could be in a better position. So I think I need to wind up. Now, in terms of, I want to tell Gor Mahia followers that in every institution, we have an organization chart. That organization chart spells out the roles and functions of each area with the required or prerequisite knowledge and skills that are required. You will not be employed as an HR to go to manage finances because you have limited knowledge in terms of investment appraisals, in terms of managing those particular finances. Let's not take financial management like a kuuza mboga, where you get, unauza mboga, unapata pesa kidogo, unaingiza kwa mfuko. Let's look at it as a business entity that needs to achieve its objectives, not just rushing because there's money and people are running for money. Let's have the capacity, let's have the quality in terms of technical ability to manage the finances of an institution. For that reason, Kogalo vote wisely.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Dolfina Odhiambo, your final submission.
I think it is really in bad faith or in bad taste to talk about a qualification of a candidate that you do not know. So the insinuations that have just been presented are not correct because you don't know my capabilities. You don't know my background. You know nothing about me. So you cannot say that because you imagine that I'm just a HR practitioner, I have no financial knowledge or I don't have the ability to assess financial situations. And we know that the perception that some of us are trying to run for money is really far-fetched because I have a job. I am a human resource manager in the farm where I work. Why would I be running for Gor Mahia money? Why would I be chasing the money? And these same people saying that they've been running the youth team since November last year, there was a time when the youth team was stranded in Mombasa and they reached out to me. And I sent them 8,000 shillings so that they can eat. What were they doing in that office in December? What were they doing? I've been contributing to that youth team in silence all this while. The money that they're talking about, the strategies that they had of the 60 people, I was amongst those 60 people. So you cannot tell me that that is a strategy. And he was not even there. So back to what I think we can do as a club, or what I think I will champion as Dolfina, is to ensure that the merchandise line of the club is maximized, because there's a lot of potential there, which we are not using. Our brand is all over. Our merchandise is all over. T-shirts, capes, hoodies, everything. Why is this not coming from the club? Those are the questions I want to go and answer when I get in there. And why are we not patenting our stuff, our logo, for example? I hear somebody was talking of trademark. Yes, trademark and patent, one and the same thing, if you ask me. But because they limit the use of these tools that we have that we can use to make money. So I expect that anybody who wants to trade with our image as a club, they need to be paying us some money. And aside from looking at the sponsors, I know that if we have goodwill, if we are transparent, we can sustain ourselves, especially when we launch the membership drive countrywide, which I plan to champion and ensure that even the club patron is present to ensure that we launch it successfully. I know that we are going to generate a lot of funds. And other than that, I know that there are institutions that are always looking around for people to give grants to. I don't hear anyone talking about looking for grants. But you see, if our house is in order, that is when these things can follow us. That is when the corporates will pay attention to us.
Okay, Dolfina, it's a final submission. So what are you telling your fans? Those who are going to vote on Saturday, ungependa kuambia nini tukimalizia? Final submission.
I'm telling my fans that we are going to win this thing. I want to go in there. I want to ensure that the new constitution is implemented to the letter. That is my promise to them. They will receive those quarterly reports showing the financial status of the organization. They will receive, we shall have meetings, we shall have AGMs. I shall champion and ensure that nothing is hidden under the carpet. Everything will be as bare as possible. When we sell those players, they will know. When we buy them, they will know. They can trust that if Dolfina comes out and says, hey guys, we have a deficit of this much, please come in and help, they will do it. The players' contracts will make sure that they're watertight. No player just walks in and walks out at will. We'll make sure that if we bought them, when we are releasing them, we are making some gain out of that. And their welfare too will be checked, because some of them fall sick, they don't have medical insurance. How do we expect them to sustain the club if 1 year down the line they're seated in the bench, they're not in the field? So
thank you so much. Your time is up. I think we are finalizing. Thank you so much for your final submission. Thank you so much, Dolfina. Thank you so much, Chrispine. We wish you all the best from Gor Mahia FC Facebook group. And we hope that after the elections, we are going to see changes. The things that you've told us here, we hope that they're going to be implemented and we see a better Gor Mahia in the coming years. Tony Anelka, maneno ya mwisho ambayo ungependa kusema tukimalizia, kwa sababu Chrispine na Dolfina ninawatakia kila laheri katika election. And thank you so much, Dolfina, for finding time to talk to Gor Mahia fans. Thank you, Chrispine, also for finding time to talk to us. Thank you so much. Nawashukuru sana. Bwana Tony Anelka, maneno ya mwisho na ungependa kuambia watu wa group nini? Na bado watu wanapelekwa cold room ama mambo ya cold room ilisho. Unajua nimekaa kando kidogo kwa some time. Sijajua kama culture ya group bado inaendelea. Ama ilisha.
Shukran kwa Chrispine na Dolfina kwa muda wao, na Mbara na wale wote waliohudhuria discussion hii. Tutakuwa na mengine ulivyoelezea hapo awali. We will be holding some more discussions sort of this. Chairman, ASG will be on board, as well as Salibolo and Wasuna. We'll try to bring them actually right on this wall so that we can hear from them. We can discuss openly as a club, as you know, people who mean well to Gor Mahia. Cold room, bwana Gidi bado iko na siku hizi inapigwa bila notice.
Bado wako. Unajua Logons walikuwa wengi sana kwa group.
Logons nimepambana nao lakini hivyo tunaendelea tu. Shukrani.
Lakini ningependa kuambia all the fans on the group, hii group ya Gor Mahia. Hii group iliformiwa I think ilikuwa ni before 2010 2008 pale, na imekuwa pale for more than 2008 na tumekuwa pale more than 20 years, na imesaidia mambo mengi, discussions, watu wamekuwa kiongea kwa hii group, hata branches nyingi zimeformiwa kutoka kwa hii group. Kwa hivyo tungependa to take the conversation to the next level so that we can help this club, and we must ensure that people are going to office are credible people ambao wataweza kupeleka hii club to the next level. Na ndio maana mimi na Tony hapa kama admins tumeanzisha initiative ya kuweza kuongea na watu, including the chairman himself will be here live on this group so that tuongelee. Kwa hivyo waweza kuambia all the fans ambao wanaweza kuwa na access to mobile phone, kwa sababu ni live kwa Facebook pale, anaweza ingia na uweze kutazama. And the next forum after Saturday itakuwa ni fans based forum, ambapo tutakuwa na mashabiki wanaingia na wanatoa maoni yao every week, ama karibu tutakuwa tunaangalia time, inaweza kuwa baada ya game ama before a major match. So tutakuwa tunaingia kwa show na kila fan anaingia hapa anatoa maoni yake. Kama ni kitu hajaona inaendeshwa vizuri, atakuwa anaizungumzia so that tuweze kuleta accountability kwa club yetu ambao tunafurahia pale. Kwa hivyo labda Tony Anelka tukimalizia tuimbe anthem ya Kogalo.
Kogalo, Gor Mahia.
Kogalo,
Gor Mahia.
So you are ni.
Imba peke yako, wewe ulikuwa musician, imba peke yako, mimi sio musician bana.
Thank you so much. Asante sana watu wa Kogalo. tukutane baadaye ambapo tutakuwa na Sally Bolo pamoja pia na Wasuna, alafu baadaye tutakuwa na Samo Chola na Ambrose Rachier kwa hii show. Good night. Asante sana. Kumbuka hii video itabakia pale. Unaweza kuitazama baadaye. Tony Anelka, thank you so much. Asante sana. Good night.
Shukran.